Okay, our third student for today, doctorate student, doctor of management student, is Mustafa Saleh Al Shara, and he will have 3 minutes to tell us about himself, what he's doing for a living, what sort of experience and education he got in his life, um, and then 15 minutes for the presentation. Okay, go ahead, Mustafa. Floor is yours. Your main examiner is Dr.
دكتور زاهر.
Asim. Dr. Asim is your main examiner. Let me. Mustafa Shara. Yeah, Dr. Asim. Okay, go ahead. Bismillah.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, my professors, my colleague. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The researcher, I am Mustafa Saleh Sharaa. I have a baccalaureate degree of genetic engineering from the University Science of and Technology, and as well as I have another baccalaureate degree in nursing from the University of Jordan, and I have a master degree in management from Al Bayt University, and I am currently a doctoral student in IAU in DM program, Doctor of Management. And I father for 3 kids, and there are my kids, my angels. If you don't mind, Professor Zahir and my professors, my team here, my brother and my mother and my wife, my sisters,
Okay.
and okay.
If you want them to say hello, if you want to say them to say hello to us, we don't
Yes.
mind. Let them say hello. Come over. تعال الكاميرا. تعال منك له. تعالوا على الكاميرا. تعالوا يا عمو. تعالوا. تعالوا. تعالوا جاي. تعالوا. خلاص. ايش اسمك يا عمو انت؟
نديم.
ايش اسمك؟
نديم.
نديم.
نادين.
ما شاء الله. طيب والله بتعرف تسمي يا دار الشرع. ايوه.
لا الاسم الجاي شو اسمه؟
سارة. very good. ما شاء الله.
This is the monkey.
ايش اسمك؟
يلا قول اسمك.
كرم.
تامر.
كرم.
انت عندك 3 اولاد. هذول اولادك مش كده؟
And wait for next ان شاء الله after Eid next kid will be 4 ان شاء الله.
مبارك. الله يخلي لك اياهم ويخليك لهم يا رب ان شاء الله.
This is my little brother. It's called Muhammad.
كيف حالك؟
And behind me, front of me, my mother and my wife and my sister. This is my team today.
سلامنا لهم.
Thank you, bro.
سلامنا لهم. يلا موفق. توكل على ربنا يوفقك ويكرمك
ان شاء الله. Thank you.
يخليك تخر لهم يا رب ان شاء الله ولوطنك ان شاء الله.
يا رب ان شاء الله باذن الله تعالى.
بسم الله.
Okay, I will continue. I am currently worked in Jordanian Ministry of Health as a certified trainer from the American Heart Association for a course. It's called ACLS course, and I a head of education and training unit in Dr. Jamil Al Tutanji Hospital. It's belong to the Jordanian Ministry of Health, and I have experience working in intensive care unit for about 5 years, and hemodialysis unit about 5 years also. And I specialize in hemodialysis. I take a diploma of it, and I am very pleased to have reached this stage in my study, especially consider that we have lost professors who's taught us and affect especially and personally in me. I will mention of course Dr. Ahmed Abu Absa rahimahullah and Shahid Professor Dr. Ismail Abu Saada. أتمنى الله نكونوا من الشهداء. Okay, I will go to my thesis now.
Before we proceed, أنا بطلب من الجميع أنه يقرأ الفاتحة على أرواحهم وأرواح الشهداء جميعا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. يلا go ahead. بسم الله. الله يرحمنا.
Thank you, Professor. My title of thesis is the impact of material and moral incentives on the performance of nurses in emergency department at a private hospital in Amman. I will mention the overall structure of my thesis. It's start of abstract. The chapter one introduction include these subjects, and the second chapter is the literature review, and the third chapter is the methodology, and the fourth chapter is data analysis and results. The last chapter, fifth chapter, is include conclusion and recommendations. As we know, the moral and material incentives, it's very important to push the employee in generally to make a good effort and the maximum effort to in the company or the organization. Here we in this thesis, the moral and material incentives, it's a very important issue, especially in nurses generally, and especially in emergency department nurses, because it's a different between other departments, and we'll mention that during this viva, inshallah. And as we know from the studies and the investigations of the moral and material incentives, it's affect positively on the performance at all, and to get the organization or the company or the hospital provide the maximum services from these organizations. Okay, I will move to the state of a problem statement. From my experience or the researcher experience as a nurse, first of all, I touched that it's very important to investigate in the incentives, especially moral and material incentives that affect on the nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. And from the literature review, what I found, I will mention that, inshallah, that's the problem developed and extract from these studies. That's a very effect. But the effect, what I investigate in my thesis, on the nurses especially, and the especially one of the who is worked in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. Why is private hospital in Amman and included to the problem? It's there is a system and a specific or unique system in this incentives of moral or material incentives. Okay, from the problem statement, I developed or extract many questions for this research. I will mention one by one. The first one, what is the level of applicable of these incentives? Of course, material or moral incentive system on the performance of nurses emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. Is there an impact of performance of nurses emergency department in emergency department in private hospital in Amman? Is there an effect of material incentives? Of course, includes salary, bonus, overtime, price, paid trips, paid conference, health insurance, and tutoring for children. On the quality, in the one side, and the other side, it's on the let me say it because the screen. Okay, full screen. On the quality on one side, other side, on the efficiency, on the effectiveness, and the other question, is there an effect of moral incentives include letter of thanks, promotions, workplace change within the office, prize and compliments, in the quality on one side, efficiency and effectiveness. And are there a statistical significant difference in incentives, material and moral, for performance due to demographic variables, gender, age, and educational qualification among nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman? Okay. I will mention the hypothesis. I have a main hypothesis and sub hypothesis. I will mention the main hypothesis. Of course, it's depending on the research question. The first main hypothesis is there is no significant statistically significant effect of level alpha equal or more than 0.05 of incentives, material and moral, on the performance of nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman, Jordan. The second main hypothesis, there are no statistical significant differences at level alpha equal or more than 0.05 of incentives, material and moral due to the mediating variable, including gender, age, and educational qualification. among nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. And the third main hypothesis is there are no statistical significant difference at level that's alpha more or equal 0.05 in the performance of mediating variables, gender and age and gender, age and educational qualifications among nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. Okay, here this is the research design. Included independent variable and dependent variable. Material incentives include salaries, bonus, I mentioned, overtime, price, paid trips, and paid conference, health insurance, paid tutoring for children. Moral incentives including letter of thanks, promotion, workplace within of the office price. The dependent variables, it's performance, I extract all three dimensions: quality, effectiveness, and efficiency. Okay, let's drink some more. Literature review. I find, or the researchers, sorry, find from the literature review, there's three opinions. The first one, it's claim the moral incentives, it's the more effect on the performance on employee at all of any organization, and give it the star because the moral, it's emotional and affect the emotion of the employee and push the employee himself to make the extract or the maximum effort. Some of literature review said that the material, why is that? Because it's a salary, it's make life easy, push, motivate the employee to make the maximum effort of him to give to the company. The third opinion, it's moderate between equal parallel lives, parallel lines, sorry, between the moral or material incentives. That's same effect on the performance at all. Because that I extract the gap on my thesis, that's the researcher adding a new approach of knowledge or thoughts that depending on to investigate more investigates on the moral and material incentives on the nurses especially, and in the department. They were working in the emergency department in private hospital in Amman. This is between two quotations. It's the similest gaps in my thesis. And I think it will be, inshallah, added a new model to make applicable model for this hospital, especially private hospital. And of course, I send my recommendations to hospitals. Alhamdulillah, they make a serious steps to make applicable point from my recommendation, and I will talk about when I reach them, inshallah. Okay, the methodology, briefly, what I will use in this thesis, the methodology source, it's a questionnaire. I use consider two parts, independent variable and dependent variable, and I mentioned the demographic information, including the gender, education, qualification, age, experience. The study population, it includes 387 nurses. That's the source. I go to the HR of each private hospital and sum the number at all. And the study sample, it's depending on the number of questionnaires what I spent. It's 121. Okay, let's talk about the study tools and statistical methods. Depending on this research, it's descriptive research. That's a questionnaire, consider two parts I mentioned, demographic, and the second part include the questions related to the subject of the study, of course, including the variables, independent and dependent. The methodology, of course, I use the SPSS program and including main equations, percentage, arithmetic mean, standard deviation, analytical statistics, Bach alpha, test, one-way ANOVA test, the multiple regression test, the linear regression test. Of course, there is a specialist guy do that because my field is medical field, not mathematics. Okay, the limitation of my study or the researcher study, sorry, there is three limitation. Spatial limitation. It's the study. It is limited just to nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. Time limitation because it's the study in 22, 3 and 20, 24. Sorry. The human limitation is just in the nurses emergency department in private hospital in Amman. Let's drink some water. Okay, data analysis. Of course, as I mentioned, I use the SPSS program, and this chapter in the thesis itself, it's explain the questionnaire, and I include the questionnaire and the questions. But I will go to a figure to explain my opinion or my data analysis. The first figure is the percentage gender variables. Here we find the male percentage, it's more than, it's about 58 percentage. The other side, the female, 42 percentage. I claim or comment this because the emergency departments, it's need more effort, need a fully time to make sure that the nurse there give the best services for the clients, the patient, I mean, of course, because that we find the male side more than the female side in this department, especially. Okay, the next figure, its distribution of academic qualification, and there is a very notes that the biggest one, it's a baccalaureate degree, it's 57 percentage. Why is that? Because the new graduated persons or nurses, sorry, go the hospital immediately or firstly go to the emergency departments. There's some considerations. The first one, you are young. The second one, you need to make more experiences. The second one, to refresh your knowledge to put in the emergency. And the lowest one, I will go to it, the master degree. We found 4.2 percentage. Why is that? Because the master degree, like me, of course, go to the unit that needs experience in longest experience and high degree, like training unit in the hospital. You will find the nurses master degree or higher diploma or doctoral study, of course. And the diploma and higher diploma, we will find the same percentage, 8.3. Of course, we will find it's low one because the baccalaureate degree is the highest. And maybe I mentioned the difference between diploma or higher diploma here in Jordan. Higher diploma, it's a study in the university, 2 years. The diploma, it's training. I'm a specialist in hemodialysis. I have diploma, 10 months training in this department,
Yeah,
like ICU diploma. And
Mustafa, you are wasting a
yeah,
very valuable time. You have only 4 minutes left.
yeah.
Talk about analysis,
Okay, I will go.
about
Okay,
the core of
the
your
last
work.
one, distributing it. Okay,
Skip this.
thank you, Professor.
Skip this.
Uh,
Go to
Skip.
something else. Aywa.
Okay.
Skip it. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I will go to the conclusion based on the program SPSS and the variables what I have, moral and material variables, and the effect of performance of nurses when emergency department. There are statistical significant effect of material on the quality, efficiency, and effectiveness, and there is a statistical significant effect on of the moral incentives on the quality, efficiency, and effectiveness. There are no statistical significant difference in the incentives, material and moral, attributed to the immediate variables, gender, age, educational qualification, among nurses emergency department in private hospital in Amman. There are no statistical significant difference in performance due to intermediate variables, gender, age, and educational qualification among of the nurses in emergency in a private hospital in Amman. Recommendations, what I put it in my thesis, there is a clear effect between the incentives, both material and moral, on improving performance. So policies and strategies must be developed to increase the effectiveness of incentives. The study recommended the necessary of using incentive system. It's clear, should be clear, capable to meeting the needs of nurses in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. The study recommended in necessity of conduct the studies of identify the needs of nurses, nurses of course, because the nurses, it's different between any employee, doctoral or in the lab, or anyone that's working in emergency department in a private hospital in Amman. And it's necessary to work on linking the incentives to employee performance and to achieve transparency in incentives system itself. It's necessary to ensure the private hospital in Amman distribute incentives in nurses in emergency department to encourage them to be creative, to make a critical thinking in the providing the services to the clients, patients, of course. It's necessary to increase research on incentives, as it has become clear that there is a gap in this research. Determined the results of the study to private hospital, including capital. Of course, I spent I conduct the HRs and the decision maker. There is two private hospital make a step to applicable, as well as I spent to the governmental by Jordanian Ministry of Health and Dr. Jamil Al Tutanji Hospital, and the decision maker making, of course, make it a serious point and take my recommendation to applicable step. And thank you for listening. Inshallah, I was clear to explain my minds or thinking.
Thank you. Oh, Dr. Right, thank you very much, Mustafa. Thank you, very clear presentation. It's clear. Yani, I have to say you did very well in saying what you have to say and so on. It's always I don't know why our beautiful findings, we are not able to put them in a nice and easy way to understand. I mean, you did very well with the age and the gender, and which are the minor things, not the major things. I would have loved to see your findings portrayed or demonstrated in a much better way. But anyway, tell me, I want like Dr. Akram mentioned earlier, I like to come back to basics, and I want you to explain to me why you decided to do this research. What are the bases of what pushed you to do this research?
Okay. The idea brilliant in my mind when I decided to discuss this subject, because really I am a nurse, and of course I didn't work at the emergency department, but I see the difference between this department and other departments, and especially the moral and material incentives. And I touched it's improve the services, especially in private hospital. Why is that? I didn't really work in the private hospital, because if I said that, the Ministry of Health I will bid to them. But I have a friends and a relationship between them, and it's extract from the opinions and from the experiences, other guys experiences. They said the emergency departments, it take our life, take my age, I effort, I lower back pain, I but there is a moral and material incentives pushed me to make a big effort, because that I currently to investigate in this subject and to find if there is really a relationship and really push these nurses to make more effort and they make really more effort from
Which was more?
this.
What was more? Was it the material incentive
No,
or
the
the moral?
performance itself. The you mean, Prof, the effect of moral and material on the
Impact on
performance?
performance. What was impacting more on performance? Is it the moral or the material?
Really, it's the material incentives. Yeah, yeah,
Like what?
and
Which
it's attractive.
what was the top? What was the highest incentive? What was
In
the most
number, you
important?
mean? In
In
number,
material and then in moral.
in number,
يعني,
in
yeah,
number, Prof?
like if you are to list the material incentives, okay, you listed them.
Yes,
What are the material incentives?
the salary itself.
Right, salary. What else?
Okay, let's go back to the design and we'll mention.
You should, guys, you should know them by heart. You see, this is
Yeah, yeah, but I to arrange them. Okay, the salary, this, then the bonus, then the overtime. Why is the overtime not the priority? Because the overtime, the cost is different between hospital and the other hospital. Okay, and from shift to the shift. Okay, paid trips like conference or trips like related to the work, of course. Paid conference, health insurance. Of course, the health insurance from this study, I find it's different in the private hospital here in Amman. Some guys have insurance different between us in the government and the guy in another private hospital, and bed treating of children, of course. I mean الحضانة يعني for the female nurses. The moral, it's letter of thanks, push motivation, promotions. It's very important, of course. Workplace in
now.
the
Is
hierarchy
this
of
list,
the.
these two lists, the material and the moral, are they taken? Are they actually your observation, your or you've collected this from the literature?
Yeah, and put it in the questionnaire and find the
I mean,
findings
do you
depending
have
on.
in literature? Again, I go back to I love tables and graphs. In literature, do you have a table that
Um,
says this is my list of moral, material incentives, and this, for instance, salaries mentioned by I don't know how many, 10 references, bonuses, X references, so overtime and so on. Do you make that a comprehensive list of
okay.
material incentives? Do you have something like that?
Unfortunately, no, bro.
No. The same with moral.
In
Now,
table, no.
you see, moral incentive. By the way, it says incentives. Wrong word, right?
Okay. It's hard
Incentives
words.
is different. So moral incentive, right? And so letters of thanks, promotion. Again, you need a long list because moral incentives in like I can say moral incentives is to be included, to be included in decisions, to be a point of reference,
Yes.
to be part of the organizational decision, to be, like for instance, the nurses, they have a representative in the board, for instance, or something like this. This is moral incentive.
Okay.
Now, you see that list is crucial, to prepare, and of course, it should have been prepared like
The
this and
literature review,
put
of course.
in
Okay.
a list given to them, would have actually made it more. But you said here in this in this on this slide, you say prepared by the researcher R. John Okay, somebody John. So this is not your. You have taken this from somebody else, correct?
No, professor. I did it,
Okay.
but it's not like this design, but this citation for the moral and material and the list of the moral and material incentives. But this design itself, no, I am extracted and make
Okay,
it.
so you present the presentation is yours, but the
Yeah,
information is from somebody else.
yeah. But I have
Okay.
question, Prof, if you allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Prof. You said to me to make a table, including the literature review, and make a citation for each one, either material or moral. Yes, that's what
Like for instance, yeah, I mean like this one. You can say
okay,
that in all of these, you list them and put John, right? So our
okay,
John, right?
I got it.
If somebody else added to it, added to this or changed it, add something else, you answer, okay, well, in addition to this, there is some, as I said, being included in decision making, and this is moral, right?
Okay.
To be provided with information continuously and so on, moral, something like this. يعني okay, letters of thanks are good. Promotion, promotion is moral, but also material. Because when you get promotion, you get increased salary
It's
and so on.
increasing with salary.
Um, yeah, changes within the office. Okay, maybe. What about training, for instance? I mean, nobody mentioned training. Did you mention training?
Training.
Paid conferences. Okay, paid conferences different from training, by the way. You
Yeah.
see, part of the incentives is training. To get training, that is an incentive, and it is both moral and material. I think
Of
so.
course, paid daily. Yeah,
It's not
yeah, that's right.
the point. The point is, you could have had a comprehensive list and more information related to this, and based on that. Okay, right. Yeah, and the other thing is now when it comes to the findings, then you make a list.
Uh-huh.
You no,
Okay.
go back to the. You see, this is to show you
Same.
how. Yeah, we are fond of this. This makes say one picture is better than 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, right now, this one, for instance, now you can use this to to list the incentives, to rank them based on your findings. So based on the findings, which one of this list is the top? What is the top material incentive? I'm asking you. Do you have an answer to that?
Yeah. The salary, it's the top one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
the
then
salary.
next, what
It's
is next?
arranged. Bonus, overtime, prices. It's arranged
This is
already.
so this is arranged based on the incentive.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
good, fine.
Just make a table.
Um,
Okay, I got it.
Now, then you go to the moral. Again, is the moral arranged based on the information
Yeah,
received by?
according to the questionnaire, is the highest uh, answers and the lowest.
So the highest answer in the questionnaire is letters of thanks.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, then promotion, workplace, changes within the office, praise and praise. Why did you say praise and praise? You put praise
Oh,
twice.
printing printing mistake. Okay.
Okay. Uh, right. Right. Interesting, actually. And you said that material incentive was more important to people than the moral incentive. In my thinking, I thought people who work in in professions like medical health, um, the moral part comes is salary does not come first. That's my impression. But you work there. You are in the profession itself. Um, why do you think salary came first? يعني when that is when it affects, when we talk about impacting on the performance. So what impact on performance? Is it the material incentive? What impact more, material incentive or the moral incentive? And you said to me, it's the material incentive.
The both.
Uh-huh. But
The
how?
both.
I mean, I need to differentiate. How
Okay.
can your findings help me to differentiate between the two?
You mean in my thesis or the literature review? You mean, Professor?
Well, both. You see, that's one thing. First of all, I want your findings, from your findings, from the information you collected. Which one comes first? Which one impact more on the performance? Is
It's,
it the material or the moral?
material, Professor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you compare it with in the literature, now when you compare it with other places,
I
other
find
places they have the same material, or is it moral or what?
same literature review said no, the moral is more effective. Same literature review said both. It's like two parallel
Okay,
lines. Some
good
literature
point.
review.
Because then my question will be, I mean, now you need to go deep in why is the material incentive impacting more on the performance in Jordan? Because that's dangerous. It means
Yes.
if you don't give me good salary, I will maybe it will affect my quality, it will affect my efficiency and effectiveness,
مظبوط نعم.
which makes me a dangerous person. I
No,
mean, I'm just
no,
saying,
Professor.
you know.
No, it's attractive point. If we to discuss it, it's attractive point, especially in private hospital. Why is that? Because let's say it, beside my thesis, in governmental hospital, same salary, same material incentives, and same moral. Either was you are ICU or CCU or emergency or hemodialysis unit, whatever. But in the private hospital, it's attractive point. I will give you more salary
Yeah.
to make the ER what I have in a private hospital a good one, the star, because it's the
Okay, I
first
understand. Look,
line.
just because of the time, I will make this my final
Okay.
comment, and then we can move to Dr. Akram to ask his questions. The point here is, you are saying we are talking about the impact of material and moral incentive on performance of nurses, which means I'm a nurse. I'm working in hospital, right? If
Yeah.
if my pay is good, I will do a good job. If my pay is not good, I'll do a lesser good job. This is the interpretation. You understand? Now, I'm not saying here because of salary I can easily move to another hospital. That's fine.
I got
Better
your point.
salary, I move to another hospital. No problem. I'm talking here about performance because that's the title of your dissertation. Is the impact on performance, right?
Yes.
So the
Yes.
question should be, if okay, you are getting this material, this
Hello.
much salary, fine, you are getting this salary. Does that impact on the quality of your work, right? My
Yes.
answer should be no. You see, it should not impact on the quality, because if it impacts on the quality, it's dangerous. It becomes dangerous to the people, right? Yes, you will seek job somewhere else, fair enough. But would it actually impact? If it says yes, then interesting. You need to go deeper in understanding why and how and the impact on the health of people and so on and so forth. We need to discuss it further. Okay, I'm fine, Dr. Zahir.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Akram, Dr. Akram, go ahead. It's your turn. Oh, sorry.
You're on mute.
My, Dr. Akram, thank you, Dr. Hassan. Thank you very much. It's your turn, Dr. Akram.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zahir, and thanks again, Dr. Asim, for always valuable questions and comments. And thanks for the student for his presentation and answering the question of Dr. Asim. Uh, just I would like to ask a few questions. The first question, how did you undertake the literature review, please?
You mean, Prof, how I investigate in the literature review itself?
How did you select the main
Okay.
titles? How
Mhm.
did you undertake? Which type of resources you used for your
Yes.
literature review? How did you get even the the sources or the resources, etc.?
Okay, I depending on the my variables in this research, the material I find literature review talk about just the material incentives and the moral, and I find literature review just talk about the moral incentives and the performance itself. And seek for literature review talk about the three dimension to extract the idea from them.
I would like to say that, of course, variables should be covered in the literature review, but this is not enough because when we talk about research objectives and research questions, it's more wider actually to depend on. And this is very important again because when we talk about the research process, we talk about integrated process. Uh, we build the basis in the first chapter. I mean, research objectives, research hypotheses, research variables, research questions. Of course, depending on the problem of the statement, the problem statement, sorry, the statement of the problem. And we revisit this even when we will undertake the literature review. We can improve our research questions, our research objectives.
Yes.
In the first, I think, in the abstract, my friend, would like to say that uh, you mentioned it twice, Saleh, the study sample. You mentioned it above and mentioned it again in the end of your abstract. And I don't
Yes.
think this should be actually done. And maybe this from the beginning. I still remember somebody, I am not sure if you are or somebody else. We mentioned this for him. Please don't repeat the sample size twice in your abstract. And
Okay.
by the way, it's very important question. What can we put in the abstract?
Of course, in the abstract, we put the aim of the thesis, and
Yes.
yeah, and the type of the study, if descriptive, and the tool what I use or the researcher use in the study, it's questionnaire, and the founding or the extract
Findings,
of
findings.
yeah, the finding, of course, and maybe the gap mentioned by the abstract.
Okay, if you return back for some actually references in research methodology, in business and management, you can find that we should mention first of all the questions of the research. Why are they important?
Mhm.
And we should mention the methods and methodology. We should
Yes.
mention the findings and finally the conclusion. What
Conclusion, yes.
we
I
have
thought.
got, yes, what we have got from this research.
Yes.
So again, another important question for you. I think, my friend, I'm not going actually to talk or ask you questions about the methodology chapter should be developed. You can actually add something about the research process and the procedures. You can add, for example, let me say, a figure illustrated your own steps through carrying this research. You can add something about how did you construct the data collection tool? How did you construct the or build your a questionnaire. What are the main steps you followed through developing your research tool? I have a related question regarding the methodology. What is the type of your research, my friend?
Descriptive.
This no worries. Your English is fine. Your English is fine. No worries. Descriptive. Yes, in the
Yes,
same time. No worries. No worries. In the same time, my friend. Descriptive and what? Is it explanatory? Is it explanatory? Why did you use that? Why did you use a questionnaire? And when we can use a questionnaire as a data collection tool? When we can use, let me say, structural interview. These things should be very clear for you as a PhD candidate. You understand me?
Yes,
So
yes.
answer me,
But I
please.
mentioned it's a descriptive research in
Okay, I would like to say something. When we have explanatory research, such as your research, somebody before us examined what we are going to examine, and we are going to examine particular case to support or to say no for the theory developed by others. This is if it is explanatory. And in explanatory research, we can use both a questionnaire and we can use also with a questionnaire structured interview. You understand me? This is should
yes.
be well known for you. And furthermore, if it is exploratory, no previous research have been undertaken. We collect data, then after collecting data, we can provide a model. This model can be examined by ourselves and in the future examined by others.
Others, yes.
Anyway, if you repeated this research again, what are you going to change in this research?
Change, maybe I will not change anything, but I can add it. Like Dr. Professor Asim said in the literature review, I make a table to make clarified my variables. And as you, Professor, said to me, the methodology, maybe to make clarified the steps, how I built the questionnaire. Maybe I will add it, of course. Inshallah, I will add.
I'm sorry to say that you seem as Arab. You don't change your mind.
You know,
Sometimes
Yes.
it's
I
good
want,
actually.
I want,
Yes,
I want
doctor.
to, I want to ask. Sorry, doctor. I want to ask a question here, which is similar to Dr. Akram's question, but in a different way. If someone comes to you and say, "I'm going to do the same research again," your research, I want to do the same research again. What advice would you give him?
Mm, maybe to explain the other fields, not just emergency departments, maybe other departments.
No, no, no,
And
no, no, no,
when
no.
you comment,
He is doing no, 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 no. That's not the. I'm saying he's going to do the same research, right? What advice you would give him or her?
um,
Recommendations. What's your recommendation?
recommendation, encourage him, and I hope him to make a good research applicable, adding a new model for us from his research. Make sure it's a take step on the ground if the research take a serious from the hospitals or the companies or the organization, take the needs. I mentioned the needs of the employee in general and the nurses especially in the materials or in the moral or material incentives, the needs of them to make the performance is a high quality or the best and maximum effort of them.
Well, I'm not convinced. You did not convince me.
Why, bro?
يعني, no. Why? Because you did not answer. The answer is generic, general. No, I'm saying specific. Look, you faced. How long you've been now working on this? 2 years or so?
Yeah.
In 2 years, you have learned so many things,
Yeah.
and you definitely have recommendations and advice to other people. Say, don't do this, don't do that. If you want to approach it, for instance, I give an example. Oh, I actually, instead of
Okay.
starting the questionnaire, for instance, like this, no, go to hospitals first, check, ask them, conduct interviews, come back, prepare a questionnaire, do a pilot, give me something tangible advice.
Okay.
I applied this analysis method or model. No, apply something else. It gives you more information or more accurate results. Something like that. Follow the process. When I started, I did not follow the process. I say follow the process. Check it first, read, then do, and things like this. The question about the
Nice.
literature review, right?
Yeah.
Literature review. I say this. I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this to everybody listening. And unfortunately, many times people don't listen. I said to you, please do not list studies, and you people continue to list studies. It means you say, this is the study, that's the title, and this is the information about the study. Another study, that's the title, the title means that's the subject, and this is what they did, and that's the. No, literature review is not like that. Literature review is analysis. You have to analyze the
But
study and compare it with other studies, and then come up with your conclusion, and then use the conclusion in your study. Things like this. People don't do that, which is not good. Okay, so that's that's
maybe,
that's the kind of that's the kind of advice I would give to.
okay.
If somebody comes to me and say, okay, well, give me advice. I said, don't do what so and so, and I name the person
Yes.
Okay.
did, or go to this person and learn
Yeah.
from him or her how they conduct. That's
Mhm.
not. Say, go and listen to this record and learn from the record. Listen to the advice of Dr. Asim, Dr. Akram, Dr. Zahar. These things, important things. Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Akram.
And just I would like to say something very important. It is not only the analysis of the results you have got. It's not only to present these results. You should. I am not going actually to ask you, but I think I don't see something related to this. You should explain why you have got these results. You should compare your results with the previous studies, and you should say why you agree or disagree
Thank you.
with the findings of the previous results. This is very important. And finally, of course, when you have the conclusion, you should write something actually. This is maybe one of the most important components of your research. After undertaking this research, what is the conclusion you have got? But anyway, I saw real efforts, respected efforts, and I believe strongly that you can do much better. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn now, Mustafa.
اهلا بروفيسور، الله يعطيك العافيه.
Okay.
سعيد اني اشوفك والله.
Okay, shukran. Now, for the one of the serious issues that we should cater for under your work. First of all, when you have your hypothesis, you have introduced them all as null hypotheses actually, N-U-double-L. You rejected the relations, then you proved it under the alpha factor of 0.05, and we know that alpha is the probability that this thing might not occur. So if it is below, which means that there is no, I would say, relationship. Usually when we put the hypotheses, we put one or two null, but we put the normal things after that. We say that there is a relationship between parameter, the moral parameter X and the performance Y. Then we presume or we introduce one or two nulls so that we prove the opposite of the opposite. For example, if I say that X has a direct relation with Y, this is direct hypothesis. If I say X has no relations with Y, I would go and do the research, the statistical part. I'll go to the alpha coefficient of 0.45, then I'll prove that no, X has a relationship with Y. So the main function of the null is to produce and to prove the opposite of the null. You should have two or three hypotheses under the direct relations, not all null. And please do not get attached to alpha in every single hypothesis. I would accept this in one or two under the null, but the rest, it has to be logical. I was very happy to hear at the beginning that you want to introduce a model for your work. And I was very unhappy at the end that I did not see any model. I did not see any conclusion. I'll talk about this later, but let me continue. I'm talking about the general remarks in your work. Then another general remark, when you talk about tables. Table 1 shows 1, 2, 3. Where is table 1? You have to go to the appendix. It does not work this way. Pick 4 or 5 tables and put them inside your text. So I don't have to go to the appendices. Okay, in the appendices you have whatever you want at the end of the day, the full questionnaire, the full answers, full tables. It's the sack that you put everything there, the pan, no problem. Secondly, you are a very greedy person. أنت بخيل جدا. You don't have one graph or one curve in the whole of your work. This is very frustrating. I agree with Dr. Asim. One photo means a million of words, and one graph means hundreds of thousands of words. Show us that you understand by introducing the figures, not from SPSS. By the way, I have to declare a belief in myself. Whenever I see SPSS, I hate the issue, because you rely on SPSS. Most of you, the researchers, they understand only 20% of the results because somebody else is doing the SPSS. Okay, we accept it because it leads to our work. But when I see somebody working on Excel by himself, when I see somebody working on logical relationships and simulation, on approaching the issue in a critical thinking way, I admire this effort. Okay. Before your literature or after your literature review, after the gap analysis, introduce 2 or 3 pages called theoretical framework. In your theoretical framework, you have a blender mixer, خلاط Molinix. You have to add the following to your mixer: the problem statement, the hypotheses, the research questions, the expected output. Put them in one mix and give me exactly what sort of relations you will be connecting. You have moral, you have materials, incentives, and then you have performance, then you have hypothesis. This is a mess. You have to organize it. I did not see a clear cut, other than this 0.05 significance of alpha. I did not see a clear cut in your conclusions, in your analysis or conclusions, that would say X moral element is connected to the performance in this way. I disagree totally that the salary is for the materialistic and it's top. Salary is not always the top. It has a value, but you have to introduce others. So how would you connect 3 parameters? And I want you to answer me now. Give me one moral, please. One moral incentive. Give me one. The most important one, moral, is according to your research, what is the most important moral incentive? Give me one. Give me the top one.
Okay, give me just 1 minute.
No, you don't have to go any place. Yeah, Mustafa,
You see,
this is
yeah,
engraved
yeah.
in your
that's
memory.
one problem.
Why do you go there? What is the most important moral incentive that you have reached? This is like your name. Your name. My name is Mustafa, and the top moral one is appreciation, and
Letter of
the top
thanks.
material is salary. This is like your name now. You've been doing this for the last year. Come on, give me the most
Yeah.
important moral.
I'm confused here, Professor. Letter of thanks.
Ya akhi, don't
Letter of
comment. Ya
thanks. Sorry.
Mustafa, I'll be very
No, no,
upset if
sorry.
you go. Look, I'm
No,
talking,
no,
so
no.
listen. I'll be very upset if you go and look at your slides. Just tell me what is the most important moral incentive that you found in your, according to your research. What is it?
Letters of thanks.
Sorry?
Letters of thanks. Letters of thanks.
Okay,
والله هو شوف
I have my reservation on this, but is it supported by your statistics, by your questionnaire? Is this supported? If I ask you, show me the table that supports your, so you have to look, and we will look together. Now for the material incentives, what is the top one?
The salary.
Salary, okay. Now I'll come to Mustafa. Let us say that we've come to a nurse called Khadija. And we ask Khadija, you have a moral of letter of appreciation and a material of the salary. If we give you a letter of appreciation every day, and if we give you the highest salary, how would this affect your performance? You are talking about emergency place where is no element of error or element of not working properly on the quality of the job, because somebody will die. So
Yes.
to me, salary and letter of thanks is not an issue when you talk about emergency department. You have lives at your hand. This is the way of critical thinking that should take place. Under emergency, I don't feel that there is any performance issue there. Okay, I might be wrong, but I'm asking you. Under emergency, Bazov, no need for any performance check for nurses. They must produce their best, because it's the life at stake. If they do not perform, they will be legally questioned, they will be legally prosecuted. So how would you answer to such a thing? Performance for nurses working in emergency department has no value, has no issue. What do you think of this?
How's that, Professor? To be clear, I understand. You said the performance in emergency department should be the best or the maximum one.
It must be either you do 100% of performance, or you are fired, regardless of your salary, regardless of your moral or materialistic incentives. You have to perform 100%, because if you do not do it, somebody will die. So how would you answer to this?
I will said in other point, it's attractive point to work in these departments. It's really when the nurse is working
Very
or
nice. Okay,
anyone
this is
working.
very nice. But you did not mention the attraction. You are evaluating some people. You're sampling. It is from within the nurses working in emergency. So if you want to attract somebody else, you have Khadija. Khadija is not happy, but she's performing 100%. Otherwise, she'll be kicked out. So you have to convince Mustafa to come. So it's another issue. Attraction is different from being forced to do the work. So this is some sort of a critical thinking that you should look at. Again, you have to connect the moral and the material. I don't believe, and take it from me, I will question your questionnaire, and the people who have replied to your questionnaire, I don't believe that moral is letter of thank. Don't give me letter of thank. Have a group of the nurses and the doctor and thank me in front of them. This for me is $1 million. And letter of thank hidden in the book and hidden in the drawer. Do you think this is a letter of appreciation? Do you think somebody would be convinced? I doubt your results. I think that there is a problem in the way you ask the question, or the problem in the way you analyze it, or the problem on the way the people have understood it. I know that you're a sincere person, so there is a problem of the questionnaire itself. Okay, you work in the field. If I tell you which is better, to mention you in front of your colleagues and to give you a shield, درع يعني, or to give you a promotion as a moral, or to send you a letter in a closed envelope and you say, enjoy Mustafa, you're a very good person, and everybody will put it inside. So what's the catch? This is a critical thinking. You have to answer this in your work. Look at it from a different angle. Okay, not to take a long time, I'll go to final thing in the way you casted your thesis, your dissertation. In Britain we say thesis, and in America they call it dissertation. Because this is recorded, I will constrain myself to answer. But anyway, this is a dissertation. You followed the paraphrasing in the whole of your literature review, and this is very big weakness. You cannot go for paraphrases, because okay, you take an idea and then you cast it your own way. I don't like it because I don't trust this way of working. You have to have direct citation, because when I want to check your work, I have to go for direct citation. Kyle 2021 stated, it has to be a past tense, then start the quotation, but copy paste there. So I check, and now if I want to go to your 50 references, I'm lost. I have to go to read the whole reference and to know where on earth you got that paraphrase. You put the paragraph, then at the end, Steve 2020. Okay, where about from that? I have to go through the whole paper to see the idea and to see how you casted it. So I need at least to see at least 5 to 10 direct citation in your literature review. It is a must, so that you be a good researcher. And I need graphs that would connect the moral, material, and the performance in one graph. Have a relationship, have arrows, have numbers, and please another graph to summarize the whole issue. Moral, these are the priorities and these are the percentages. Moral, a letter of thank is 90, blah blah 80, 70, and then you go to the material issue and then get to the performance and connect them. I do not see in your conclusion any connection. It's very, very vague, and you are relying, you've mentioned the significance alpha 0.05 about zillion time in your research. Zillion time. There's a million, there's a billion, there is a zillion. It's too many in every single page. It does not mean anything to me. It means that the probability that there is no relation there, khalas, okay, if it is above or below. So, but now we need the Mustafa to see Mustafa inside his research, especially in the conclusions. This doesn't mean that you've not done a good job. You've done a good job, a very good job, but we need to put it in shape so that we have a proper doctorate thesis or dissertation at the end of the day. Okay, I'll leave the floor again. Okay, Mustafa, do you have anything to answer, to respond?
No, I appreciate your recommendations and answers.
Okay, Dr. Asim, final comment.
Final comment again. I know Mustafa is very hardworking, and as you said, he's done a lot of things out of interest and out of passion, actually. But yes, we need to do some, like for instance in chapter 5. Chapter 5, I can see there that you have you've finished. Your petrol has run out in chapter 5. Your energy. In chapter 5, no introduction to the chapter, no conclusion. Just say conclusions are 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just list them. And recommendations are 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the right way to write it. We'll work on it, inshallah, and then we'll produce something.
Okay, Dr. Akram.
Okay,
Open the mic, Akram. Yes, okay.
Thank you very much. I don't have any more to add now. I think it's enough.
Okay, so we will convene, the committee will convene for say 10 minutes, and then we will come back, stay on hold, and then we will see.
I'm here.
We'll come back with our decision. Thank you very much. Okay, salam alaikum.
Thank you.